Assalamu alaikum guys, and welcome to Daryeel Kitchen, home to delicious food made simple. In today's recipe I'm going to show you how to make this date cake. This is one of the most requested recipe in the history of Daryeel Kitchen. I have been running for a few years and this cake has been requested many times. I have shared on my Instagram and now it's time to share this on my YouTube channel so you guys can make this for your friends and family this Eid. Let's go ahead and start. Not subscribed yet, please do subscribe and press the notification button so you can see whenever I post. Now let's go ahead and start making this delicious date cake. The first thing that we need to do is take all the pits out of the dates. Normally I would use one that's already pitted. However, since it's Ramadan and I've got a lot of dates in the house, I'm just using the regular dates we have. And then all we need to do after that is chop the dates into small pieces. To make this easy for you, you can just use a chopping machine and just, chop everything, which makes your life so much easier. However, if you're like me and you enjoy the extra work, go ahead and do this. And then after that, I'll show you guys what to do. Great. After this, all we need to do is get a pan, and then you just want to transfer the chopped dates into the pan, and then we're going to add some milk. I'm just using regular milk. You can use skimmed milk, full fat, is up to you. You can also use hot water for this process, but you know what, the milk always adds extra richness and it makes it more delicious. So all we need to do is put this on the hob for a few minutes and then bring everything to boil. This may take about 2 to 3 minutes, and then the purpose for doing this is just to soften the dates, and then it also slightly cooks it, so we want everything to mix together. And then all we need to do is just make sure we mash it slightly, just so the dates are more softened and slightly mashed up. After the date mixture is ready, all we need to do is now take it off the heat, and then we're going to add one more ingredient, which is baking soda or bicarbonate soda. And what it does is that it keeps your cake raised really well, and also it maintains that softness and fluffiness that we want in the cake inside. So it's really important to add this. However, if you don't have this, you can just use baking powder and that works absolutely fine. And then you can see as soon as I add the baking soda, it's going to be like a science experiment all over again. And then you can see everything is bubbles and whizzes up, which is absolutely normal. All you need to do is mix everything, and we're going to set this aside now for until a few minutes, or like about 10-20 minutes, until everything's cooled down. And the reason we do this is we cannot add that into our mixture. After this, you just want to get a cake tin. Make sure you apply some butter and dust with flour, and this is a trick, your cake will never stick to the bottom. Now let's go ahead and mix our cake. So the first thing that you need is softened butter. Make sure the butter is room temperature. Just take it out of the fridge and then leave it outside, so it will make this process quite easy. After this, we're going to add mixture of 2 sugars. I've got brown sugar and granulated sugar. Brown sugar makes your cakes quite soft, so if you have it, add it, but if not, don't worry about it. You can use normal sugar. And then after that, all we need to do is mix everything together. So beat the butter and the sugar for a few minutes until it's all come together and the sugar has slightly softened. And then we're going to add some eggs. Make sure the eggs are at room temperature, and it's really important that you add 1 egg at the time. Otherwise, if you add all eggs, the mixture might split. And then just carry on doing that, and I'll show you guys the next step. After about a few minutes, all we need to do now is add some vanilla, and then I just like to add this just to make sure it adds a flavor, and also the smell makes it amazing. Also, I like to add some cinnamon powder, and the reason I like to add cinnamon and dates, they just somehow work together. So but if you don't have that, leave it out. You can just use vanilla. And then once we've done that, just give everything another mix. And then finally we're going to add our date mixture. Just make sure the date mixture has cooled down completely, and add this in stages. And then if you prefer, you can also blend this and make it nice and smooth, but I like the date cake to have a bit of texture. Otherwise it just becomes just normal cake. You want that texture, so when you bite you can taste the date, you can see that you've used dates. So yeah, so that's the reason I do that. And then after this we just need to mix our dry ingredients, some salt, flour, and the baking powder. I said earlier you can use baking powder instead of baking soda. What I mean is you can just use baking powder in the dry mixture. So if you don't have baking soda, leave it out altogether, and don't add baking powder into the date and milk mixture. And then after this, just add the flour in stages and give everything a good mix. And one thing I like to share with you guys is whenever making cake, try not to use the mixer all the way. So just mix. As soon as everything has come together, you want to stop and then finish it off by hand. And the reason we do this is sometimes when you use a cake mixing, you can just overbeat this, and then the cake will become very dense. So you just want to slightly use your spatula, mix everything. And then finally all we need to do is pour our mixture into our cake tin, and make sure the oven is preheated at 180 degrees. Make sure it's nice and hot, at least 15 minutes before. Another important tip is to make sure you tap the cake tin a couple of times on the kitchen counter. This just allows the cake to really make sure it's leveled up. And then just place in the oven and bake for at least 40 to 45 minutes, or until it's all ready. And typical Somali person, I like to use a pasta to try. You can use a stick, you can try with anything, but just make sure the cake is ready. Make sure you poke it a couple of times, and if it comes out dry, your cake is done. And we are almost done now. All we need to do is eat. That's the final step of this process. And you can see that cake is looking nice, golden color, and it's just so beautiful. Just make sure you know, you don't flip it straight away. Allow for a few minutes for the cake to set, and then I'm going to show you guys how this cake looks upside down. And the reason we don't flip the cake over straight away is just to make sure sometimes when you flip, it's still hot, it might fall apart. And then let's see how it looks, guys. So you just want to flip it over, and then you can see it's come out very easy. And the reason is because I've used butter, and that flour, it's the only trick that gets your cake out of the tin beautifully. Now all we have to do is drizzle that caramel sauce on top. You can do it perfectly as soon as it comes out of the oven, so everything is absorbed. Otherwise you can just drizzle as you serve it, so it's up to you. And you can definitely have this cake without the caramel sauce, it's still delicious, but adding that caramel sauce, it makes it something else. It's the only thing that is, you know, obsession in my household and my family, friends. Even when I do events, this is one of the popular cake that everyone says like is the best. I'm yet to find out somebody that doesn't like date cake. If you know somebody, just let me know in the comments. You can get the recipe of this caramel sauce. I'm going to link the link on the description box below, so you can find. Make the caramel sauce, make the date cake, and serve it to your guests, guys, and then let me know what they think of this. So now that we have drizzled the caramel sauce, all we need to do is show you guys how the inside of this cake looks. So let's cut it together, guys, because this is one cake that you need to make this eat for your friends and family, and I'm sure they will enjoy. It's like so moist, so delicious. I mean, I don't even know what to describe it anymore. I'm lost for words, and I'm normally not like that. Are you ready? Because now I'm about to show you the inside of this cake. Let's get a slice. And you know what? A slice should be more than enough, guys. Don't have more than one. You see that moist is just something else, so good. And then the secret ingredient, not so secret anymore, is the caramel sauce. You just want to drizzle, good amount on top. Not that we haven't added already some caramel sauce on top, but you need to finish it off. And then a dollop of vanilla ice cream, and then drizzle some more caramel sauce. That's the perfect date cake. But you can have it with custard as well. That is another combination that I love. And then guys, that's all done for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, this recipe of one of the popular date cake desserts. It's so popular that I don't even know. I have to say it's #1 recipe of Daryeel Kitchen, and it's finally here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you have, press the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please do subscribe. I post every single week. And if you have comments, just let me know in the comments, and I'll get back to you very soon. And until we meet next time, Assalamu alaikum, and have a beautiful Eid with your family and friends, wherever you are.